I'm going to analyze some free agency signings. Let's see, some guys I know. Dion Lewis is one of the most effective per play backs in the league, but is also an undersized injury risk, best utilized in space. 4-year deal, $20 million plus $3 million more in incentives. That's only $5 million a year. As long as there's something to get out of it from injuries, that's a very good deal. I wish the Bills that are a running team, I don't know if they tried to offer him a deal, but that's what I would have done. I know they have LaShawn McCoy for a lot of money. I just signed Chris Ivory. They're paying him like $2 million a year or something like that at the most. I don't think Chris Ivory is getting, I think he's at least 30 years old, Dion Lewis. I do not think he is 30 years old. Doesn't say here his age. Some of the other free agency signings. Teddy Bridgewater to Jets. I'm not. They're giving him a fairly cheap deal to see what he's about. I don't know if that means the Jets are not going to draft a quarterback. They have Teddy Bridgewater, Chris McCown. They're paying him $10 million. They have other players, other quarterbacks besides those two on the roster. Jerick McKinnick, he had a freakish combine. McKinnick is the type of space player who can excel as a receiver and runner. So a team that has a better offensive line. I don't think the Vikings had that great of an offensive line. He only averaged like 3-point-something yards a carry. His first 2 years, he averaged like 5 and 4.8 yards a carry. I think they paid a lot for him. 4-year deal. No, it's Lewis, sorry. Where's McKinnon? Here we go. They didn't give the stats, but he's getting paid a lot. Like more than McKinnon. So he's getting paid like $7 million a year with San Francisco. So if that's a key player that they need, like I said, injury, it's possible that he could get injured. He's not an every down back, but he does have receiving and running ability. Carlos Hyde, Cleveland signed him. A lot of people are saying that they're not going to go after Saquon Barkley. That might be the case. I think they're paying him like Hyde $5 million a year for like 3 years. So and if he's a starter, I mean that's not bad. Not paying that much. I'd rather get Saquon Barkley, to be honest with you. I think if everybody's correct about Saquon Barkley, he's going to be a Hall of Famer if he can stay healthy. Some people are saying he's a once-in-a-generation running back. Crowell, I don't think Crowell's that good. He's going with the Jets. Can be a lead back in a committee attack, but he's nobody's idea of a dynamic playmaker. That's what NFL.com says on him, and I would agree. It's not a huge signing by any means. Amendola to Miami. Is expected to sign the Dolphins. He does have an injury history. I don't know who the Dolphins quarterback is going to be. If they're going to, a lot of people are saying they're going to draft a quarterback, but I don't know if there's going to be one. They're sitting at like 11 in the draft. Yeah, let's see. Oh, there's more players here. Let's go to the next. There we go, by position. Let's go by position. I want to look at the quarterbacks. And I just... okay, somehow I got quarterbacks here. Sam Bradford. They're paying him like $20 million a year. So I don't know if that's really worth it. I hope they have contract to get out of that in case he gets injured, because I think he hasn't had a full year since 2012. So let's take a look at that. Drew Brees, he's only getting $25 million a year. I was hoping maybe the Bills would make an offer to him, and that they'd get Baker Mayfield and have him train, mentor him. That didn't happen. Matt Castle, I mean, maybe in a certain system he could be good, but I don't see, he's not signed. Cousins, he went to Minnesota for like $27 million a year. I think that's being overpaid. I think he's just average. In the medal pack, he might be top 10, but that's about it. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think the Bills could have taken him in as a veteran and then draft your rookie. Fitzpatrick has had some decent years, and he actually had his best years with the Bills before they released him, thinking that $9 million a year was too much when their quarterbacks were getting paid. The average, I think, still then was like $15 million. Arizona has some. They got, who they pick up? Sam Bradford, I think. So, I mean, they're okay. If Bradford goes down, Blaine Gabbert is okay, not really that great. And they also have Drew Stanton, and they still might have a Project Matt Barkley. I'm not sure if they re-signed him or not. Josh McCown, he's a pretty good quarterback. $10 million a year is pretty good. Looks like the Jets might draft another quarterback. Josh McCown is getting old. He's going to be 39 or is already 39. And Teddy Bridgewater, he's injury history, and we don't really know how good he is. I could get away with not drafting a quarterback. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping the Bills sign someone that's decent, veteran quarterback, because none of the quarterbacks on their roster are very good at all. Peterman is a rookie, threw like 5 interceptions his first game. And I'd like to see them sign A.J. McCarron. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. And he doesn't have a pretty delivery. But I think he has a good enough arm strength. He is 6'3". He's just barely athletic enough to move around the pocket. He has a decent build. He kind of has short arms. They're only like 31.5 inches. For a guy that's 6'3", that's pretty short. He does have huge 10-inch hands. So if the Bills are worried about cold with a quarterback. I don't think that's going to be an issue with holding on to the ball there. I think Broncos with Case Keenum, I think they have a good quarterback. I think they're all set. I don't think they should draft anybody else if they're paying like $20 million a year for Keenum. We've seen what he can do. He can be very proficient passer. I think he had some really video game numbers in college. And I think it's a definite upgrade from what they've been having the past few years. And it may be even an upgrade over the last year when they won the Super Bowl with yeah. So okay, that's it with the quarterbacks. Let's look at wide receivers. Yeah, let's see what's going on here. Mike Evans can be very productive. Is a big touchdown threat. Marquise Lee is resigning with Jaguars. He's been injured a lot. That's one of his problems. Jordan Matthews did okay at times for the Bills, but I think he was also injured. So here's some guys. Kamar Aiken. He's a fairly reliable receiver. I think he's probably underrated. Jarvis Landry, of course, is with the Browns. Sammy Watkins got overpaid for his injury history. I guess if you're looking to just have a guy take off pressure from your other receivers, he can do that when he's there. Shorty Nelson was released. Allen Robinson, I wish the Bills had picked him up. I think he is the best wide receiver, possibly the best out there. He put up 1,400 yards and like 14 touchdowns with Blake Bortles. Just imagine what he could do with a top 5 quarterback like a Brady or one of those guys. Breeze. Paul Richardson, I think he got a big deal. He's a very good receiver, but he has a very slight build and can get injured. So hopefully they have an injury clause built in that contract, because I think it's at least $8 million a year. And he's not going to be your number one wideout, I don't think. Deontay Thomas, he did okay with the Bills. Let's see, who else is here? Terrell Pryor, Washington. He's unsigned. I'm going to talk about the trades. I think the Bills got a good deal, dropping Tyrod off and his $18 million contract this year to get a top of the 3rd round draft pick. I think they've been doing a lot of good moves, getting rid of a $12 million offensive left tackle, Cordy Glenn. That frees up cap space to get other players. And they also got moved up from 21 to 12 in the draft. But I would like them to sign a veteran. They need to do that. Let's look at some of the moves in the NFL. Peppers, he's old. Bradham, $8 million a year. The Bills did have him on cheap, and then he did well with them. see what else we have. Chase Daniel, I don't think he's that great quarterback. I have to look at his stats, but I don't think they're mind-blowing at all. Graham will probably tight end. Graham will probably get overpaid. Green Bay's going to sign him. Let's see, what other news do I like to see here? I'd actually like to see some, look at the trades. I think it is a mistake if you don't go and get Saquon Barkley if he's there. The number one thing that helps teams is